hoping this works out because my webcam seems to be all weird. But anyways, I've decided to make a blog about my autoimmune disease that they say is yet to be identified, whatever that means. However, I strongly feel it is lupus, systemic lupus actually, just due to all my symptoms and some of the tests and so forth. Anyway, basically my inspiration for this was a fellow YouTuber named Willow Dove 40. Watching her videos, I was shocked and amazed at how many symptoms we had that were exactly the same. Almost everyone except her eyes. And I have to agree with her in so many different levels. Finding your spirituality is huge. Meditation is huge. And just everything she has to say. So I strongly recommend to visit her channel. However, of course, this is about me. Couple reasons I decided to make it. Hopefully I can help other people who are suffering with this. As well as I have a lot of family back east who I never get to speak with, unfortunately, or never seem to, or have the energy to. And this will help. I'm feeling, yeah, you just noticed me leaning back on my chair, and that's because my neck's already starting to bother me just from looking at the camera. But this way they can see what's going on with me, my progress, all that other stuff. So what I've decided to do is start at the beginning, well, what I feel is the beginning, and kind of work my way through if I can. In no way, shape, or form am I a medical person, practitioner, whatever. But I do believe I have a pretty strong knowledge. I used to work for a veterinarian. For years and years, that was what I did until I could no longer work, but we'll come to that. And I will tell you the medications I took and so forth, or I'm on, I should say, that I'd love to get off, etc. But again, I'm not endorsing anybody, anything. I won't mention any doctor names. I'll just refer to them as my rheumatologist or respirologist or whatever the case. And so this is not an advice column as far as doctors or medications or anything, because honestly, nobody has an answer for me yet, nor do any medications so far seem to really do a lot. So you'll probably notice in the background my scooter. Yeah, this is partially due to my lupus. However, it's not all to do with my lupus. I will be in a chair now, but that is also mainly due to a different condition I have called spinal stenosis. I don't think lupus caused this problem or started this problem. What started the problem is I have two discs in my back, or I should say two vertebrae in my back, where the facet joints are degenerating and slowly disappearing, which is causing flattening of the spine, which in turn bulges the disc, which in turn is causing the stenosis. However, I think that problem was started due to the fact I was hit by a car when I was 10. Long story. But I don't feel that's part of my lupus. So, if it is lupus, again, we identified autoimmune disease. So I don't feel that is. However, my autoimmune disease definitely plays a huge toll on my pain factor. It just adds to it, if anything. So a lot of my symptoms I get, I would say 99% 99% of the symptoms I get, or maybe 98, are due to the autoimmune. I strongly believe the other 2% is just because of the problem in my spine. So hopefully this video will give you some insight. I don't even know if this is turning out. I guess I'll find out when I review it. I decided to call the channel Lupus Spirit for a couple of reasons. I strongly feel my spirit guide is the wolf. Lupus, yeah, ironic, isn't it? However, hopefully this will help some people out there, and hopefully it'll also help my family a little bit to understand what I go through on a daily basis. And because, yeah, that's the hardest part, is the not knowing. I have to agree again back to Willow. I so have to agree that it's the not knowing. It's the not having a definitive, this is what it is, this is what's giving you your pain, this is what's giving you your problems. Because you have so many different doctors telling you so many different things, most saying, so many trips to the hospital, with them saying, oh, well, we can't find anything wrong with you. Yeah. So, yeah, it does. It plays an emotional factor. And the more emotional factors you have, I agree again, the higher the stress level, coupled with everyday stress, makes the flare-ups worse. Much worse. And longer. Unfortunately, my flare-ups have gotten a lot more than my remissions now. But I've been suffering with this too, I think, since I was about 12, 13 years old, is when things started. And then just gradually every year got a little worse, symptoms a little worse. But we'll go through that again. Every individual is different. I know that, no matter what autoimmune disease it is. I mean, it has its distinctive characteristics. But if it is lupus, which is what I think it is, personally, then, while there is a set of definite patterns, everybody's individual. It affects people differently and in different ways, especially when it comes to organ development, organ involvement, etc. My organs thus far, main ones that have been affected by this, is my lungs. And now I'm developing some heart things. I have calcified nodules throughout both lungs, as well as very advanced emphysema. Now, yeah, the emphysema is due partially due to the fact that I smoked heavy for years, definitely. But I do feel lupus also played a part, or I should say, these autoimmune disease also played a part. Because when I was first diagnosed, when I was 40, with the lung issues, which is the first definitive diagnosis I got of any kind, then I was told then it was really bad for my age. It was like looking at a 60-plus-year-old heavy smoker that had been smoking pretty much all their lives. So that alone told me that, well, obviously there's something else. I mean, they tested me for everything else, and obviously, that wasn't what caused the emphysema. So I do believe part of it is, again, due to part of the autoimmune disease. I gotta get used to just saying that until, hopefully this turns out, don't know if it will, I'm probably rambling. I am going through a flare-up right now, so I'm on opiates, etc., between that and my back. So, hopefully we can get through this. Now, as I said, was hit by a car when I was 10. I don't think that had anything to do with anything other than my back. Basically, when I started having symptoms of this autoimmune problem, was when I was about 12 to 13 years old. And basically, if you keep seeing me look down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I was always a sick kid. actually right from the start, I was always a sick kid. I understand why not. Always having fever. Well, what they said was the flu. Always having fevers and that. But I don't remember really throwing up that much with these flus. But I do remember feeling absolutely horrible. Um, Fevers, just tired all the time, but not tired. It was more just I did not feel well. Um, I slept for hours and hours every day, which I think had a lot to do with the autoimmune problem, as well as at that point when I started feeling really gross, which I think that is part to do with the autoimmune problem, because now I suffer from depression and everything else, but again, we'll go through that. But, look, their big thing was, oh, well, it's probably because you're depressed. You had a reason to get out of it. And, yeah, depression plays a huge part in that, but this kind of started all before the real depression started. So, yeah, I think definitely when it first starts, when it first hits you, that's how it first hit me, anyway, was being sick all the time and just tired and just not feeling well, fevers. They decided to take out my tonsils when I was, how old was I? 14, 15, I think. I had ragged tonsils, whatever the heck that meant. And in fact, that did help to some degree with me getting sick all the time. It still didn't do everything. But that's how mine started, and the age group that mine started. So basically, as I came into puberty, I guess you'd say, was when things started. So whether puberty plays a factor, hormones, I don't know. But I am running out of time, and I don't even know if this turned out. So I'm going to cut this one short. Well, not really short, obviously. But the next one will go on to explain what happened following the being sick all the time, or feeling of sickness all the time, fevers, etc. And we'll go from there. Hopefully the lighting does not suck as bad as it does when I'm looking at it right now. You see the really dark under my arm. Whoops, that's this eye. It looks really dark under this eye, which it is, but it also is this eye, and there's a lot of brightness in my view, so I don't know if that's going to go through. However, I will post the other video possibly today, if this one turned out, and I don't have to redo it another time just to get it to work. Talk to y'all later. Take care, and it's my family. I miss you all, and hopefully miracle will happen and I'll get to come home and see everybody soon. Bye.